In this video, I'll show you how you can automatically fix code styling issues. Code styling issues are things like this, where a bracket isn't in the right position, or maybe an unused namespace is being used, or maybe some old piece of syntax. Let's do my array and then use the old array helper, like that, instead of using the square brackets. In itself, these aren't problems. Your tests will still pass, but this hurts the readability of your code. By keeping code consistent and adhering to code styling rules, your code will become more readable and therefore more maintainable. Even if you know all of the standard code styling rules, you'll still make mistakes against this. And that's also a good reason to automate this. We can fix these styling issues using the PHP code styling fixer. And by using our package skeleton, it's installed by default in your project. The configuration of the tool is being done in this file. We will run the fixer in both the source directory and the test directory for all files named PHP. And the formatter will format the code using these rules. First, we are going to use all of the PSR12 rules. PSR12 is a well-known standard in the PHP world to format code. Almost any project or package that I touch uses this formatting. And below that, you see a couple of rules that we like at Spatie, but you can use any rule that you want here. We like to use the short array syntax everywhere, so the square brackets. Our imports are named alphabetical, and we don't want to have any unused imports. Take a look at the documentation of the code styling fixer to learn all the available rules. You can run this formatter locally using Composer format. Format is one of the scripts that we set up in our package skeleton. And when you run Composer format, this will run behind the scenes, but Composer format is probably easier to remember. Okay, let's go to our class here. And sure enough, using PHP Storm, I could manually fix this file. But let's imagine that there are hundreds of files that contain potential code styling issues. Then you wouldn't want to go in each of those files and perform this action. Instead, you can just run Composer format. And when I refresh this, all of the code styling issues have been fixed. But you could also choose to not run this manually, but rely on GitHub Actions. I'm going to revert these changes for now. And let's take a look at the code styler fixer workflow. This workflow will be executed whenever we push some code. We are going to check out our repository on a container at GitHub. On that container, we will run our CS fixer and we'll pass it our config file. And then we will use this step to commit the changes on the repo. Okay, let's see that in action. So I'm going to commit these changes and I'm going to push them. And if we go to GitHub, then we should see the action running. So here it is. It's checking out our codes. It's running the fixer, committing the changes, and it is done. So if I pull in the code now, all of these formatting changes should have been fixed. Let's try it. And if I click here to refresh the contents of our file, then we see that everything was fixed. The bracket is in the right position, there's no more unused import, and we use regular array notation here.